Bluelock is something I would describe as an all-encompassing effect. It somehow manages to reconstruct your beliefs in the form of being a sports manga. This effect can make you experience so many feelings, seeing these players score goals, integrating their ideologies into their playstyle, and collectively inspiring you. Bluelock has and always will be a manga with transformative themes, giving you a sense of it being somewhat valuable, spending time watching or reading it. You don't simply enjoy Bluelock for the novel entertainment, but immerse yourself within the gritty nature of Bluelock. The many themes present consist of, but are not limited to, psychological manipulation, extreme developmental phases, and unique character philosophies, which are all combined into one cumulatively brilliant presentation, that is, Bluelock. For this video, to break down the Bluelock effect, we are going to have to segment the different facets that formulate its very nature. Part 1. Realism. If you thought the manga could portray or represent the actualities of real life any better, then you are mistaken, my friends. It defies those expectations and creates the most realistically intriguing moments I've ever seen. Seriously, the premise even surrounded in realism, being that a bunch of soccer players are invited to improve to be selected for a representative team. You even empathize with the pain of the characters when they have to overcome an obstacle or fall into irrelevancy and are written out of the manga. The realism effect is a crucial aspect to what makes Bluelock effect so addicting. Without it, the stakes and relatability would go down the toilet. Realism is how the manga portrays its themes and creates a more impactful tone with the characters and plot progression. You feel as though every scene is something that conveys a meaningful message. The mannerisms, tone, mood, and atmosphere are all what translate the manga from something separate to, wow, I just felt that in my soul. The realism is how the Bluelock effect transcends the boundaries set by its creation, and forcibly gets you to feel emotions you never realized you had, because you were so infatuated in the story you could not stop to collect yourself. Example moments are when Isagi literally ends someone's career of being a soccer player, crushes Baro's dreams, and deals with being on a team with Nagi and Baro. The approach to these scenes can be summed up as what would occur regardless of luck or intention. These interactions are in the right place at the perfect time. It was meant to be. No retconning moments, just pure and unfiltered character expression, and I love it. Part 2. Insanity. Let's be honest, Bluelock wouldn't be Bluelock if its characters weren't always on the verge of depression or literally contemplating all of their life decisions in the middle of a literal soccer match. If you thought the realism approach was deep, then you're in for a long ride. The portrayal of insanity similarly to realism allows the moments to have more weight, to feel like the actions of these characters matter and are important. The progression and development these characters each undergo after stepping on the field is where I draw the line. Mid-game, characters will transition from extremely happy to borderline crazy. It's this unpredictability and emotional volatility that builds some sort of excitement within yourself to know how or why a player will be driven mad. Combining this aspect of anticipation to see how a player will react to their own dreams being literally crushed, you will fundamentally start paying more attention to the changes being made to the character. Stagnation is symbolic of boredom, but with the Bluelock effect, it diverts your main focus to the existential crisis each character has and the exact moments before and after insanity. This effect creates a rising tension and desire to see that reaction. The hidden knowledge of if a player will change their fate by simply acknowledging their own inadequacies and adapting to this insanity they feel. It's a compensation to evolve and interpret these emotions by fueling their ideologies. With this revelation of insanity, some of these players' slow descent into madness can be represented by characters like Baro, when all hope is literally stolen by Isagi. Isagi, when he lost against Rin and Kunigami becoming irrelevant for a bit, which seemingly leads on to the next point. Point 3. Luck and adaptation. The contrast of the characters with luck and the ones with absolute worst fortune you wouldn't wish on your worst enemies are present, but these characters who are unlucky must adapt. It is a mandatory theme within Bluelock to adapt when you are not sufficient, when your beliefs are not carrying you to your idealistic desires. The themes of adaptation and luck will seemingly come into conflict with one another, but coexist. To have adaptation, you must be lucky, and vice versa. but it will also prevent you from being lucky if you adapt too much. These themes are the perfect balancing act for the characters to discover their identities and what they truly believe under all the self-deception. The thing is, with both of these themes, the characters can't hide under the power of friendship and can't just suddenly become invincible. The threats are very real. If you aren't able to grasp these concepts quickly enough, you're just gone. This power balance and no mercy representation of luck, fate, and adaptations really synchronize with the plot's message to not rely heavily on what you currently know, but change and favor yourself to win, which is an aspect I can really appreciate, as basically every character is now forced to progress the plot forward without stalling with some nonsensically written side stories because they have not been adequately focused on. Characters with exceptional luck and natural ability are Rin, Nagi, and Baro. Characters that are the opposite are Kunigami, Isagi, and Chigiri. Part 4. Fluidity. The motion, even in the manga, is something you truly feel in your heart. Every goal is something to look at and say, that character worked hard. You know how you can tell? Because the literal expressions, line work, and detail let you know that these characters are experiencing euphoria at the achievement they just had. It's like translating their emotions out of the book or screen, and you are figuratively blasted with every rushing bit of dopamine and endorphins the characters are getting. Like seriously, I cannot get enough of when the characters kick the ball harder than Saitama punching Boros, and the ball going into the net. It has to be honestly one of the most satisfying things to witness in all of fiction, and is personally one of the most underrated aspects of this manga. Even when the characters are just showing off their training on the field, they somehow obtain an aura that represents their beliefs. For example, Baro gains a lion and gets lightning, Rin gets a glitch effect, and Isagi puzzle pieces. If you couldn't already tell, these details really matter and contribute respectively. Baro being the king of the jungle, aka soccer field, Rin being an anomaly because of how OP he is, and Isagi being the most deductive and intelligent player piecing it all together. Some of my personal favourite scenes include Isagi surpassing Baro, Nagi doing literal bicycle kick representing his aptitude for acrobatics and talent, and the goal Isagi scored to beat Nagi's team. Overall, every moment, every small detail in the finest collective are contributive to the success of the bluelock effect, and are what actually makes this trademark to the series itself. My final message is to try noticing it taking effect when you are reading or watching bluelock next time, as you'll be glad to know such a thing exists to only enhance your experience of reading this super sports manga. If you really enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what your favorite bluelock character is, and as always, peace!